Vaishnava Gosai. He bara karuna koro Vaishnava Gosai. He bara karuna koro Vaishnava Gosai. Patita pavana toma Bina ke hona Patita pavana toma Bina ke hona Yaharani kate chele papi dhore pai. Yaharani kate chele papi dhore pai. Yaharani kate chele Papa dure jai Jahara nikati geni Papa dure jai Cannot see the sun Emana dayala Prabhu Kita bhate jai Emana dayala Prabhu Kebu kota jai Gangara parase hoile pasa jure pa Gangara parasa hoile paschate pavan Darshane pavitra koro E tomara gan Darshane pavitra koro E tomara Darshane pavitra koro E tomara go Haristani aparare tavahare nam Haristani aparare tavahare nam Haristani aparare aparadhi Hare Hare Nam Tomastane aparadhi nahi paritran Tomastane aparadhi nahi paritran Tomara hridoye sadha Govinda charan
Govinda
Tomara hridoye sada Govinda Vishram
Tomara hridoya sadha Govinda Vishram
Govinda kohe namora Vaishnava para
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 Prati janma kore asa charanera duli
Adijami Hari Asha Charaniraduni
Prati janme kore asa charanera duli
Adijami Hari Asha Charaniraduni
Naratama kore daya agamara boli
Naratama kore daya agamara
Naratama kore daya apanhera boli Para karuna koro Vaishnava Gosai
Para karuna koro Vaishnava Gosai
Patita pavana toma vinake hona O Vaishnava Goswami, please be merciful to me now. There is no one except you who can purify the fallen souls. Yeah?
你記唔記得中文書啊？Vaishnava Swami，請你對我仁慈啦！ 喺呢度除咗你係冇人能夠淨化啲墮落嘅靈魂。
Where does anyone find such a merciful personality by whose mere audience all sins go far away?
去邊度揾其中一個咁仁慈嘅人物，只係透過僅見到佢，已經可以將所有嘅罪清洗。
After bathing in the waters of the sacred Ganges many times, one becomes purified. But just by the sight of you, the fallen souls are purified. This is your great power.
喺恒河中沐浴多次啦，人就得到淨化嘅，就係僅靠見到你墮落嘅靈魂就立刻得到淨化，呢個就係你巨大力量啲所在。
The holy name delivers one who has committed an offense to Lord Hari. But if one commits an offense to you, there is no means of deliverance.
聖名拯救冒犯主 Hari 嘅人，但係人如果冒犯你，就無法得到拯救。
Your heart is always the resting place of Lord Govinda, and Lord Govinda said, "The Vaishnavas are in my heart."
你的心永遠係主 Govinda 休憩嘅場所。主 Govinda 說 ：Vaishnava 就是我的心。
I desire the dust of your holy feet in every birth I may take. Please consider Narottam yours and be kind upon him.
我希望我將會經歷嘅每一生，都能得到你聖足上嘅塵土。請把那對他們都視為己出，仁慈待他。
Jai.
Jai.
Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayana Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Narottamam
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam
Devim Sharati Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraya
Tato Jayamudiyame
Nasta Prayesva Bhatreshu
Nasaprayadeshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nitam Bhatam Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Sloki
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki.
Bhakti Bhavati Naitaki.
We're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Text number 10.
我哋讀聖典博家眼堂第一篇第3章，題旨係聖 Krishna 係所有化身嘅源頭，第10詩節。
Panchama Kapilo Namha.
Panchama Kapilo Namha.
Panchama Kapilo Namha.
Panchama Kapilo Namha.
Sadesha Kala Viplutam.
Siddhesa Kala Viplutam.
Sadesha Kala Viplutam.
Siddhesa Kala Viplutam.
Provacha Sara Ari Sankyam.
Provacha Suraye Sankyam.
Provacha Sarari Sankyam.
Provacha Suraye Sankyam.
Tadvagrama Vinirnayam.
Tattva Brahma Vinayam.
Tattvagrama Vinirnayam
Tattvagrama Vinirnayam
Panchama Kapilo Namha
Panchama Kapilo Namha
Sadesha Kala Viplutam
Sidesha Kala Viplutam
Provacha Sarayi Sankyam
Provacha Shirayi Sankyam
Tattvagrama Vinirnayam
Tattvagrama Vinirnayam
Panchama Kapilo Namha
Panchama Kapilo Namha
Sadesha Kalaviplutam
Sidesha Kala Viplutam
Provacha Sarayi Sankyam
Provacha Shirayi Sankyam
Tattvagrama Vinirnayam
Tattvagrama Vinirnayam.
Okay.
Panchanam Kapilo Nama
Panchama Kapilo Nama
Sidesha Kali Vipitatam
Sidesha Kala Viplutam
Vachacha Sutaya Sankyam
Provacha Shirayi Sankyam
Tattvaganam Vipiritam
Tattvagrama Vinirnayam
Panchama Kapilo Nama
Panchama Kapilo Nama
Sidesha Kala Viplutam
Sadesha Kalaviplutam
Provacha Shirayi Sankyam
Provacha Sarayi Sankyam
Tattvagrama Vinirnayam
Tattvagrama Vinirnayam
Panchama Kapilo Nama
Panchama Kapilo Nama
Sidesha Kala Viplutam
Sadesha Kalaviplutam
Pachacha Shirayi Sankayam
Pravacha Sarayi Sankyam
Tattvagrama
Tattvagrama
Vinirnayam
Vinirnayam Panchama,
Panchama,
the fifth one,
the fifth one,
Kapila,
Kapila
Kapila,
Nama,
Nama,
of the name,
of the name,
Sadesha,
Deshan,
the foremost among the
the
perfect,
foremost among the
Kala,
Kala
time,
time,
Viplutam,
Viplutam,
last,
lost, 失去
lost, is it?
Lost
lost,
Lost.
yeah, not 失去
Pravacha
Provacha
said,
說
Asuraye
Asuraye
unto the Brahmanas,
unto the Brahmana
named
named
Asur,
Asuri 名為 Asuri 的 Brahmana
Sankyam,
Sankhya
metaphysics,
形而上學
Tattvagrama,
Tattvagrama
the sum total of the
the sum
creative
total of the
element,
created element 創造元素的總和
Vinirnayam,
Vinimayam
exposition.
說明
Translation. The fifth incarnation, named Lord Kapila, is foremost among perfected beings. He gave an explanation of the creative elements and metaphysics to Asuri Brahmana. For in course of time, this knowledge has been lost, had been lost.
譯文名為主 Kapila 的第五位化身，是完美生物中最優秀的一位。由於有關創造元素的和形而上學的知識，隨時間的流逝失傳，他給名為 Asuri 的 Brahmana 重新講解這知識。
Purport by Srila Prabhupada.
真係
The sum total of the creative elements is 24 in all. Each and every one of them is explicitly explained in the system of Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya philosophy is generally called metaphysics by the European scholars. The etymological meaning of Sankhya is that which explains very lucidly by analysis of the material elements. This was done for the first time by Lord Kapila, who is said herein to be the fifth in the line of incarnations.
要指由聖因聖巴巴傳譯，創造元素嘅總計係有24種。Sankhya 系統中對每一種都進行明確嘅解釋。Sankhya 哲學一般被歐洲學者稱為形而上學或者玄學。從詞源嚟睇呢，梵文 Sankhya 嘅意思係通過對物質元素嘅分析，解釋得非常清晰嘅嗰位。咁最先解釋呢門哲學嘅係主 Kapila， 佢喺呢個獅子之中被説成是第5位化身。
I'm not sure which Kapila is being described here. And with Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaturmilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarabhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So there are two Kapilas. There's one who is the son of Devahuti, and the other Kapila is the atheist Kapila.
咁係有兩位嘅 Kapila， 一位係 Devahuti 嘅兒子啦，另一位就係呢位。The other one is
the atheist.
無神論者，第二位。
They both present Sankhya philosophy, but they present it in a different manner.
But we cannot.
And they present the philosophy in different ways.
但係佢哋兩位咧係演繹呢個哲學咧係唔同嘅方式。
So, in the third canto, at the end of the third canto, you have the description of Lord Kapila, who is the son of Devahuti.
咁喺第3篇博伽亞談咧，聖經博伽亞亦都係有描述 Kapila 就係 Devahuti 嘅兒子。
And Lord Kapila appeared in the Satya Yuga, and he presented the knowledge of Sankhya with the understanding that there's a supreme God.
咁 Kapila 咧就係喺Satya Yuga 咧係講述呢個數論學咧係研究分析至尊主。
He presented the theory of Sankhya, which is the analysis of the elements of material creation.
咁佢係呈現咗呢個用物質元素咧去分析主嘅。
And he combined it with meditation on the super soul.
佢仲加上係冥想喺呢個哲學。
Now here, in this particular verse, they don't mention anything about which Kapila is being...
It's Devahuti Maharaj.
Is it?
Yeah.
But there's nothing about an Asuri Brahmana in the third canto.
This is just the description, then we'll go further.
Huh?
Just the description of the avatars. It's just a description of different avatars. This one is Devahuti's son.
Yeah.
咁喺呢個枝節咧就係佢講述 Kapila 講呢個 Sankhya 數論哲學。
Brahma's grandson.
Yeah, there'd be no of course, because he's described as an incarnation. The other Kapila is not an incarnation,
Yes.
but the other Kapila is famous.
咁
More
另一
than-
位 Kapila 咧就
more than
唔
the
係
Devahuti.
神嘅化身，但係佢好出名，甚至可能出名過 Kapila 主嘅 Kapila。
So Lord Kapila spoke this Sankhya philosophy to his mother. His mother Devahuti was feeling troubled by material life.
咁由於 Kapila 嘅母親就係 Huti 咧係被物質嘅生活所困擾啊，所以 Kapila 咧就用數論學生橋態去解釋
Devahuti was,
呢個哲學。
was one of 3 daughters of Swayambhuva Manu.
咁你話 Huti 係3位女兒嘅母親，
There were 3 daughters. There was Devahuti, Prachuti and Akuti.
Huti
Devahuti, Akuti and Prachuti.
3位嘅女兒嘅名字就係呢幾個，
They were all, and there were 2 sons, just
亦都有2位兒子。
right. Priyavata and Uttanapada.
咁呢不得解。
Swayambhuva Manu has 5 children.
一共有，所以 Devahuti 有一共5個孩子。
So Devahuti was given in marriage to a great sage, Devahuti and Kardama Muni. She was married to Kardama Muni.
所以 Devahuti 係嫁俾呢個 Muni 咧，牟尼係 Kadamba。
Kardama.
Kadamba。
And Kardama had been practicing yoga for 10,000 years, living in the forest.
修練瑜伽咧，好多數千年。
Satya Yuga people lived a life of about 100,000 years.
咁薩提年代嘅人有10萬年嘅壽命。
So Kardama Muni had been living in the forest doing meditation, practicing yoga.
咁所以 Kapila 唔係Kadamba 就喺森林咧係冥想咗非常長嘅時間。
And then the Lord appeared to him and told him that in a few days there's a young woman coming here, she will make a nice wife for you.
然後主係出現喺面前咧，話聽係有一位女士會出現佢嘅身前。
So Swayambhuva Manu brought his daughter there into the forest and presented her to Kardama Muni.
所以咁就帶個女兒咧，Devahuti 去到見 Kadamba。
And the 2 of them lived there in the forest. And then at some point Devahuti desired to have a family. And so Kardama Muni created an aerial mansion.
就 Devahuti 先話有個家庭啦，咁所以 Kadamba 就喺森林完成佢嘅願望。
And they went flying in their aerial mansion and they visited Mount Meru and different places where the demigods go to enjoy.
All the demigods?
They went traveling in the airplane.
佢哋就喺個空中嘅飛機飛行喺天空。
And they went to places where the demigods go.
佢就去到半神人嘅地方。
And in this way they enjoyed life together.
如此咧，佢哋就生活在一起。
And then Devahuti gave birth.
然後 Devahuti 就生咗一啲。
She had 9 daughters and 1 son.
佢一共有9個女兒，一個。
The 9 daughters were all given in marriage to great sages.
呢9位女兒都係嫁俾啲聖哲。
And the son was the incarnation of God, Lord Kapila.
而個兒子咧就係神嘅化身主 Kapila。
So then after Kardama Muni saw that his wife had a family, then he decided that he thought it's time to leave home.
咁呢個時候佢話：而家你已經有一個咁多兒子啦，我就應該去離開家庭。
He didn't want to stay at home with his wife.
因為 Kapila 唔想留喺家中
He
同
thought
佢妻子。
it's time to renounce.
呢個應該係佢棄絕嘅時候。
He thought, I've done my duty now I want to renounce.
佢話：我已經盡咗我嘅職責啦，而家我應該去棄絕。
So Devahuti was left in the care of her son.
所以就 Huti 咧就改為照顧嘅兒子。
Right? A woman, when they're young, a young woman's taken care of by her father. When she gets married, she's taken care of by her husband. In an old age, she should be taken care of by her son.
呢個女士咧年輕嘅時候咧就父親照顧啦，結婚之後咧就丈夫照顧，而係退隱嗰陣，丈夫佢就由兒子去照顧。
So Devahuti came to her son Lord Kapila, and she knew that her son was an incarnation of God.
咁Devahuti就嚟到佢嘅兒子面前啦，佢係知道佢嘅兒子係神嘅化身。
She knew because Lord Brahma had told her that you're going to have a child, a son, who is an incarnation of God.
佢知道係因為主巴密曾經話俾你聽，你嘅兒子就係神嘅化身。
Well, she was already born in a very important family. Devahuti was born in the family of Swayambhuva Manu. Manu is also an incarnation of God.
咁Devahuti都係生長喺特別嘅家庭嘅，因為佢嘅父親係蘇安般文，亦都係神嘅化身之一。
Anyway, Devahuti came before her son, Lord Kapila, and asked him to help her, to guide her out of her ignorance.
咁所以Devahuti嚟到兒子面前咧，請求佢將佢嚟解釋將佢遠離於愚昧之中。
She was in ignorance because she was attached to her husband.
佢嘅愚昧咧係由於佢依附嘅丈夫。
So Lord Kapila told her that you have to change the attachment from the material to the spiritual.
所以Kapila就忠告佢咧，你應該將你嘅物質慾望咧轉為靈性慾望嘅依附啊，靈性嘅依附。
And he taught her the process of becoming attached to spiritual things.
佢就Kapila就教導佢點樣去離開呢個依附嘅情。
He taught her the system. They taught her the system of Sankhya Yoga.
就係講述呢個Sankhya數論學。
Sankhya, analyzing all the elements of the material creation.
咁佢分析晒所有呢個創造嘅物質元素。
So Sankhya Yoga is common metaphysics. It's people, the scientists, materialistic scientists, they like to present things in a technical manner, like metaphysics.
所以呢個Sankhya數論學就係一種形而上學。係根據元素嘅計算咁樣去分析出嚟物質嘅存在。
So Lord Kapila explained the elements of the material creation.
所以Kapila就解釋呢個物質嘅元素咧，各種嘅唔同嘅元素。
He explained how 24 elements are there.
一共係24種元素。
There are 5 gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether.
咁有5種粗糙元素咧，就水、火、土、空氣、液態。
And then there are the 5 sense objects.
然後有5個感官嘅對象。
Meaning tasting, touching, seeing, smelling, and
眼見啦。嗅覺啦、觸覺啦，然後
tasting, touching, seeing, smelling.
嗅覺。
Tasting. We had tasting, touching,
5種感官
skin,
嘅元素。
smelling, the nose, seeing, the eyes, and taste. We had that. Anyway, there are the 5 sense objects, and there are the 5 working senses.
有5個行動感官。
Working senses mean the eyes,
眼睛啦，
the ears,
耳朵、
the nose,
鼻子、
the tongue,
舌頭、
and the skin.
皮膚。
Right? These are the 5 working.
呢個就係行動感官。
These are the 5 knowledge acquiring senses.
5個獲取行動嘅感官。
And then there's 5 working senses.
仲有5個，呢個先係5個行動。
The working senses are the tongue,
行動感官、
the arms,
舌頭、
the legs,
手腳。
and then the creative organ for evacuating and for creating.
同埋生殖器官。
So these are the 5 working senses.
呢個就5個行
So you
動
have
感
5
官。
knowledge acquiring senses, 5 working senses, and then 5 sense objects, 5 elements.
Very complicated 啊！
There's
有5
20.
個
And then you have 3 subtle elements. You have the mind, intelligence, ego.
另外3個精微嘅感官啦，心智、意慧、假我。
And the 24th element is the pradhan.
Padam。
The pradhan, the unmanifested.
哦，如果呢啲感官係完全唔顯現嘅，叫做 Padam。
So 24 elements in the material creation.
呢個就係24個元素嘅創
And Lord
造。
Kapila explains everything about these different elements.
所以 Kapila 好詳細咁解釋每一個元素。
Right? Because the word Sankhya means that which explains very lucidly by analysis of the material elements.
生期咧就係以好精微嘅數學咁計算呢個物質元素嘅存在。
So Lord Kapila, he taught his mother, and then after he taught his mother, then he left home.
咁 Kapila 教導完母親之後就我離開啦，而家我離開家園。
Because his mother had already, he taught his mother had all realized everything.
咁因為佢母親而家已經知識晒一切啦，
And so Lord Kapila had no reasons to stay at home.
所以主 Kapila 唔需要留喺家庭。
And so he traveled around, and then he came and he made his ashram at Gangasagar.
咁所以就去旅遊啦，然後佢將個 ashram 咧係設喺金架嗰度。
Gangasagar.
金架沙格。
Yeah, if you go there, it's
Go
at
Saudi.
Sundarbans. I had the opportunity to go there.
馬拉有機會係曾經去過呢個聖地。
They say if you go there, you only go one time. You won't want to go again.
Why?
It's so remote, you know. It's
咁有
right.
人話你去嗰次唔想再去，因為好
Yeah, you
好
have
偏
to
僻
go
啊
right to，
好
the
荒
end
蕪
of
嘅
the
地方，
Sundarbans.
好苦行。
And often it floods also. They get floods there a lot. We have an ISKCON temple. They're trying to build it, and they've been building for
呢
some
個會
time.
堂曾經想修葺佢，
The one man who was building it died, and so the man had to collect money. I go and find somebody else to get money to finish it. The one man died without finishing it.
所以有人要籌錢去起呢個修葺呢個修院。
But nice to go there. It's a holy place of pilgrimage. So Lord Kapila's his deity is there. They have a deity of Lord Kapila.
佢邊度有個神像喺嗰度嘅，所以係
We always show Lord Kapila as a young boy, but there they've got Lord Kapila's got a big beard. You know?
我哋以為 Kapila 好年輕，其實佢係年老㗎啦，已經去修行嘅。
Kapila, Gangasagar.
佢係住喺金吉沙格嘅地方係 Kapila，主 Kapila。
You have to go to Calcutta, and then from Calcutta you go south
你要喺
You go
加爾
south
各
to
答
the-
向西去
to
喺
the
南
where the
邊。
Ganga goes into the sea.
You won't want to
Yeah.
go too remote。
It's quite a remote place.
係好
We had
落後嘅
to
地方
travel
嚟
in
嘅。
the bus
如
for
果想
quite
旅
a
遊
few
就唔
hours
一定去。
to get there from Calcutta. But it's a holy
加爾
place.
各答。
You can see there's the Ganga and the sea, you know. So you've got the Ganga flowing into the sea.
嗰度你可以見到恒河嘅匯集，
There's a lot of sadhus there.
好多沙圖聖人㗎。
So Lord Kapila is this. He's teaching this one branch of the Vedic knowledge. The Sankhya is one of the 6 darshans, which is described in the Vedic literatures.
所以 Kapila 就係教導呢啲偉大經裏邊一種哲學，就生其數論。
And there are 6 prominent different philosophical systems.
咁一共係有6個好顯著嘅系統啊，
Right? Patanjali taught yoga,
瑜伽啦、yoga 咁樣。
and Gautama taught logic.
哦，6位教唔同嘅哲學。
And then you've got Kapila teaching this Sankhya, and then you've got also the
Kapila 就教導數論學啦。
Karma Mimamsa from Jaimini,
mystic
and you've got the
教導嗰啲好完備嘅瑜伽，
Astavakra
再有
taught impersonalism,
可以好輕，可以好重之
and
類。
Srila Vyasadeva taught the Vedanta.
Vyasade 就教另外一種哲學，一共6個聖哲。
So these are the 6 different philosophical
就
systems.
6種唔同嘅哲學。
And Lord Kapila is giving us this one system here.
而 Kapila 就呈現呢個新橋數論。
So the principle of Sankhya philosophy is to analyze all these different elements.
所以呢個新橋數論學就係分析所有唔同嘅元素。
And the idea is that by analyzing all the different elements, then you come to understand the Supreme Lord behind
透
all
過
of
呢
them.
個分析元素咧，你係明白到絕對真理嘅主嘅存在。
All right. This is the system that you want to understand. Where's the Supreme Lord? You have to analyze. Is
所以你
this
要
God?
知道主嘅存在咧，你要明白呢啲哲學嘅。
So you search by analysis, you come to understand who is behind all of these different elements.
就係透過分析呢啲咧，你就睇到真理嘅背後。
In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes the elements of the material nature.
喺
He
國家
says,
梵嗰個主劇咧，亦都係講述呢啲數論學。
it says, Bhumerapo nalovayu kamano buddharevacha ahankara iti yame bina prakrite ashtada. He says, these are my separated material elements.
呢啲所有都係物質世界短暫嘅分析存在。
It's separated energy from Krishna.
咁如此，我哋就可以完全依賴於主。
Right? There's
Krishna.
different kinds of prakriti. There's para prakriti and apara prakriti.
What are para?
Two kinds of prakriti. Material nature is prakriti.
即係有兩種咧，一個物質，一個係靈性嘅。
But there's two kinds
嘅
of
自然啦。
the living entities. They are the superior prakriti.
但係生物體咧，其實係高超嘅自然 （prakriti）。
The material elements don't matter. The earth, water, fire, the stone, marble, wood, all of these things. These are the inferior
而物
prakriti.
質嘅元素咧，好似大理石啊，呢啲咁嘅所有呢啲咩建築嘅嘢，係屬於低等嘅 prakriti。
They have no
物質元素。
consciousness. They have don't matter has no
因為
consciousness.
物質係冇。
But there's another
冇
prakriti,
感觸。
which are the living entities.
咁另外一種我哋就係我哋嘅生物體啦，呢個就
And the living entities, they are superior
Prakriti.
prakriti. They're para prakriti, the superior prakriti.
咁生物體係屬於高等嘅 prakriti。
They're superior because they have consciousness.
點解佢係高等咧？因為佢係有知覺。我哋
Right?
生
Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, Apariyamitastvanyam prakritim vidime param jiva bhuta mahabaho yeidam daryate jagat. Besides this, Lord Krishna had just described the 8 elements, the gross elements. He said, beside this, there's another prakriti of mine, which are the living entities.
所以博家梵嗰個 Krishna 係咁解釋嘅，除咗我嗰8種物質元素咧，有另外一種更高嘅物質元素就係生物體。
Jiva bhuta mahabaho yeidam daryate jagat. They are trying to exploit the resources of the
但係
material
佢哋
world.
嘗試係濫用呢個物質元素，
Right? And because of that, they're having so much trouble.
剝削。
Mami vamsa jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana, manashastani indriyani, prakriti stani karshati. They're struggling with the prakriti.
呢個就係描述我哋生物體喺呢個 prakriti 物質自然裏邊掙扎。 掙扎求存。
We're struggling with karshati, prakriti stani karshati. We're getting so many troubles because we are trying to exploit the material nature.
我哋搞咁多麻煩，佢就係因為我哋想濫用或者剝削呢個物質自然，所以令到我自己好。
Now Lord Kapila, he's teaching this system of Sankhya. It's meant to bring us to surrender, to bring us to devotion.
咁所以主劇必嚟解釋呢個數論學咧，就係希望我哋離開呢個捆綁。
But after many births and deaths, one who is actually knowledge will surrender.
咁經過好多生生世世咧，一個人咧嚟到係會歸依去追求真理。
So it's a good idea to surrender to Krishna.
咁所以佢歸依於主，其實係最好嘅。
But it's very rare that people surrender to Krishna.
呢個其實就係教導啲人點去歸依神服。
But the goal of knowledge is that we should surrender.
所以知識嘅目標咧，目的就係為咗神服。
So Lord Kapila, he was teaching his mother about this Sankhya philosophy.
咁所以 Kapila 喺度咧，就向母親 Devahuti 咧講述呢個數論學生奇啊。
He taught her to analyze all the different elements of material creation.
佢分析所有物質嘅元素嘅存在。
You can read 3rd Canto, chapter 26 of the Srimad
聖
Bhagavatam.
典博間第3篇26節
And you get an elaborate
26章。
step-by-step information of all the different elements of the
一
material
步一步
creation.
咁解釋所有嘅物質元素，好詳盡。
And behind everything is the Supreme Lord.
咁其實一切都係源於依賴於至尊主。
And we're meant to meditate on that one Supreme
我
Lord.
哋應該去冥想呢個唯一嘅主。
So Lord,
Jujunju.
Lord Kapila didn't only just teach to analyze the elements of the creation, but he taught to focus our mind and concentrate on the Supreme Lord.
所以其實 Kapila 唔係真係為咗咁花咁多時間去解釋呢啲咁麻煩嘅元素，其實目的標咧就將人引致於去冥想至尊主嘅存在。
So Lord Kapila, he is the great personality. Is described here as what? The perfect beings, foremost among perfected beings.
咁所以呢度形容亦佢為咧呢個 Kapila 係最高等嘅。
He was already perfect when he appeared.
佢一出現已經係好完美嘅。
He doesn't have to become perfect. He was already perfect.
佢唔需要去學習或者點，佢已經完全係完美圓滿。
And so he was able to teach the Sankhya philosophy.
而佢目的咧，只係嚟教導呢個 Sankhya。
And by teaching the Sankhya philosophy, he was showing everyone the path, how to become perfect.
而係透過呢個數論學咧，一個人學習點樣變得人生嘅完美達到。
And he describes also a lot of things about devotional service. He describes how people may do devotional service, but it can be in the modes of nature.
咁佢同時咧教導人去點樣履行從事奉獻服務，根據每個人嘅本質。
People can be doing devotional service. It can be in the mode of ignorance.
人可以透過愚昧屬性嚟從事奉獻服務。
It can be in the mode of passion. It can be in the
亦都可
mode.
以以激情嘅屬性去從事服務。
But what we want is pure devotion.
但我哋需要嘅係純粹嘅奉獻服務。
Devotion which is not influenced by the modes of nature.
奉愛係唔會被激情或者愚昧影響嘅。
Where there's pure devotion, then you get the goal of life.
只有達到去到純粹嘅奉獻服務咧，你先達到生命真正最後嘅目標。
But where devotion is mixed by passion, rajaguna and tamagun, then that's not going to give you love of God, of course.
假如你嘅奉獻服務係參雜咗呢個rajaguna 愚昧激情屬性同埋 tamagun 愚昧屬性咧，你係永遠達唔到完美。
So Lord Kapila
達唔到我神嘅愛。
he explained about the modes of nature and how it influences devotional service.
所以 Kapila 就係透過描述分析呢個物質元素嘅創造咧，然後帶人去到服務。
And he also taught us to worship the deity with the proper mood.
亦都係教導人以一個適當嘅心緒咧去崇拜神像。
He taught us that we should see, that we don't just see the Lord in the heart of the deity, but we see the Lord in the heart of all living
我哋唔係單單喺神像嗰度見到主，我哋應該喺每個生物體之中見到主嘅存在。
If one is simply worshipping the deity but not respecting other people, then that is not good.
假如一個人只係崇拜神像而去忽略其他唔尊重其他嘅生物體咧，咁係冇乜作用。
So Lord Kapila gave a lot of important teachings. He also expressed about the glories of chanting the holy name.
所以 Kapila 教導好多呢啲奉愛嘅服務啦，同時咧係教導人唱到主嘅聖名嘅重要性。
That the holy name can destroy unlimited amounts of sinful activities.
因為聖名可以摧毀所有嘅罪行、罪惡。
So we're very much indebted to Lord Kapila for his wonderful teachings.
所以我哋有好大嘅虧欠啊，對主 Kapila 嘅教導。
And Prabhupada lectured on the third canto, chapter 25. Those lectures were all published in the book, The Teachings of Lord Kapila.
咁所以巴巴咧喺聖巴巴喺第3篇25章咧係專門講述主 Kapila 嘅教導。
Chapter 25 is a chapter which describes Sankhya Yoga in relation to devotion.
咁所以第25章咧係完全講呢個數論學生期咧點樣同呢個帶引致於奉獻服務嘅從事奉獻服務。
So Lord Kapila, in his teachings, he covered all the aspects of this Sankhya philosophy.
咁所以 主 Kapila 喺度教導咧係包含晒所有啲物質元素嘅創造。
And Prabhupada lectured on each of the verses there in that chapter 25.
而巴巴咧喺呢個25章咧係詳細咁樣講述呢啲分析嘅元素。
And there's one important verse where Lord Kapila says that Satam prasanga mamavir samvido bhavanti ridkarana rasayana kata just josha nadyasa pavargavatmani shradara tir bhaktir and anukramishati. Lord Kapila describes that topics of Lord Krishna, when heard in the association of devotees, is very pleasing to the ear and to the heart.
咁Kapila 有一個好出名嘅詩節咧，就係講人應該從事於主嘅服務咧，喺奉獻者嘅聯誼之中，從而學習。
So Lord Kapila was encouraging the practice of devotional service by speaking this Sankhya philosophy.
咁所以主 Kapila 咧係以呢個數論學咧嚟教導人從事奉獻服務而著名嘅。
He wanted everyone to become a devotee.
佢希望所有人成為主嘅奉獻者。
And he was devotee. He traveled around preaching this knowledge.
為咗讓所有人成為奉獻者咧，去四周圍去旅遊傳播呢個信息。
As it says here in this verse, it said, in course of time the knowledge had been lost.
咁呢個詩節講到咧，因為由時間嘅流轉咧，呢啲知識已經慢慢消逝，失去。
So we know Lord Krishna also appeared for a similar reason 5,000 years ago.
咁所以5000年前咧，我哋都睇到與 Krishna 重新講述。
Yeah, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is describing why he appeared in this world.
亦都係《博伽梵》嗰日講述點解 Krishna 要降凡喺呢個物質世界。
He describes first of all how the knowledge was given to the sun god Vivishwan, and the sun god gave it to Manu, and Manu gave it to Ikshvaku.
咁所以係《博伽梵》嗰個 Krishna 係重新講述呢一門知識咧，初係俾太陽神啦，跟住係俾佢嘅兒子 Iskura 咁咧一路傳流落嚟。
But then he describes how the knowledge was given to the saintly kings, but in course of time it became lost.
咁本來呢啲知識都係傳俾啲國王，但係時間流轉咧，呢、個知識已經失傳。
Apariyamita swanyam prakritim jiva bhutama no evam parampara praptam imam rajashayo vidu sakalini hem mahata yoga nashta parantapa. Yoga nashta, the knowledge was lost in course of
呢
time.
個師節就係一再咁樣講述點樣因為時間流轉呢啲知識啊，慢慢咁流失。
So that is the danger.
呢個係一個危險嚟嘅。
And Prabhupada was very worried also about that in course of time things would be changed.
咁爸爸亦都提到咧，喺時間流轉嘅時候，好多嘢會消失㗎。
Prabhupada said, don't change anything.
所以爸爸唔好改變任何事情，
But change is inevitable.
但係好難避免嘅。
Change will come, just like Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita. So many different interpretations are there.
所以好似博家梵嗰啲咁多嘅唔同嘅演繹咧，就係一啲咁嘅知識不斷咁流傳或者喪失。
And Prabhupada also made some changes from his guru.
咁爸爸亦都係由從佢個 guru 嗰度改咗一啲
Prabhupada's guru had
改
said,
善喎。
chant 64 rounds.
爸爸嘅靈性導師要我哋練64圈。
Prabhupada also said nobody could do it.
爸爸知我哋做唔到㗎啦，
So Prabhupada had to reduce the number of rounds.
所以你哋練16圈啦。
And Prabhupada had also, he had brahmacharinis preaching, he had single ladies in the ashram, and they were going out for preaching.
聖爸爸亦都做一啲改變咧，就係讓啲 brahmachari 啊女性就真可以去傳教同埋喺廟堂收集嘅。
So Prabhupada certainly made some changes from
所以聖爸爸佢亦都會做一些改變。
So, but course of time, the knowledge is lost. We have to be careful, try to preserve everything.
即係由於時間流轉，我哋要好小心咧，保存一啲好嘅知識，唔好讓佢流失。
There are supposed to be 108 Upanishads, but you can't find them today.
本來有100個咩 Upanishad 啊嗰啲往世書，但係都維係唔到咁多啦。
In Bhaktivinoda Thakur's time, which was just 200 years ago, he had great difficulty to get a copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
所以喺巴提面到太古嘅年代，只係200年前，亦都已經好困難嘅得到主隨攤日經嘅 Charitamrita 呢個書本。
And it was only by some great fortune that he found the nectar of instruction. One day when he was visiting a friend's home, he was looking at his friend's library and he found this book. Wow! A book by Rupa Goswami.
咁好偶然之中咧，竟然好幸運喺佢個朋友嗰度睇，竟然發現到 Rupa Goswami 寫嘅奉愛甘露，非常狂喜。
And so he immediately had it copied and then he wrote commentary on it and he printed it.
佢立即佢抄咗個副本咧，然後跟住印刷。
Just like Lord Chaitanya, he was traveling in South India and he came to the Adikeshava temple and he heard the Brahmanas speaking something. They were discussing a scripture and he found out they were discussing Brahma Samhita. And then he got the Brahma Samhita, he saw it and he said, oh, this book is wonderful. He said, I must make a copy.
就好似主齊餐嘅Mahaprabhu嘅例子咧，佢亦都係去到南印度咧，竟然發覺有啲人喺度讀一個經典就係 Brahma Samhita。
Brahma Samhita.
Brahma Samhita 佢就如獲至寶，立即要個副本跟住印刷傳開。
And Lord Chaitanya brought the book and then he brought it back and he gave it to devotees there. He got copies made for other devotees.
齊餐就Mahaprabhu立刻將呢啲珍貴嘅。
He gave Ramananda Rai a copy.
Ramananda Rai 一個副本，一個
He gave Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya a
一個
copy.
copy 一個副本啦，每人一個，然後將佢印刷傳
He gave
開。
Gadadhar Pandit a copy.
啊
So all the devotees said, wow, this
所
is
有奉獻者
wonderful.
得到一個咁珍貴嘅。
Rupa Goswami's book.
Rupa Goswami 負責講述。
So sometimes, books go missing, and only by good fortune they can be found again.
所以有時我哋真係要靠幸運先可以得到一啲咁珍貴嘅書籍。
So we don't want to lose the Vedic knowledge.
我哋唔想失去呢個偉大嘅文獻
We want
知
to
識。
keep everyone in Krishna consciousness.
希望將每個人留喺 Krishna 意識之覺之中。呢部
Hare Krishna.
perfect
Any question?
有冇問題啊？各位 ？So nice, perfect. How can you remember so much?
Huh?
Very nice, Maharaj. Immediately,
Hare
without-
Krishna.
everything is perfect.
Thank you for your invitation for Maharaj to Sankhya philosophy is not easy. 真係唔係咁容易演繹，多謝 Maharaj 嘅教導。Thank you Maharaj for teaching detailed explanation. So we can get
Usually Sankhya philosophy, the only philosophy is the atheist one. They all know the atheist philosophy.
咁其實 Sankhya 數論學通常都係俾啲無神論學去
With no
學習，
concept of God.
因為佢哋係冇神嘅概念㗎。
And they say life came from matter.
佢哋話生命係來自物質喎，
We say life comes from life, but they
我
say
哋話
life
生
came
命係
from
來自
matter.
生命嘅。Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Sankhya is based on mental speculation.
Well, we're meant to speculate on the Shastra, guided by Shastra. We're not meant to speculate just on the strength of our
如
own
果佢
mind,
哋話推敲，我哋係
but
根
it
據
should be
經典去
guided by
推敲，
Shastra.
所有事情都係按照經典去做。
So speculation guided by Shastra, that kind of.
推敲係按照經典咁去推理啦，唔好自己主意推理。
In Bhagavad Gita, there is Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga.
Yes, Sankhya Yoga is mentioned, but that Sankhya Yoga is different from what is actually being described in Srimad
係
Bhagavatam
有唔同
and what
嘅
Lord
瑜
Kapila
伽，
described.
你話新奇都係瑜伽一種。
That Sankhya in the Bhagavad Gita, that's a very basic thing, that just
但係同
distinguishing the
國家
the
梵經裏
body
邊嘅
from the
瑜伽
soul.
yoga 係完全唔同。
Srila Prabhupada, in one of his lectures, I think in Germany, he says Sankhya and Karma Yoga, like Bhakti Yoga is better than Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga.
Yes, definitely. That's said in the Bhagavad Gita also. Bhakti is at the top of the yoga ladder. And Sankhya, if it's done properly, it will lead to Bhakti.
國家梵語亦都係講唔同嘅瑜伽體系咧，到最終都係帶到我哋去奉愛瑜伽，包括蘇頓。
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Thank you for coming. You have to serve your guru. So many
Okay,
inspiration. Thank you, Maharaj.
okay. Hare Krishna.
Narasimha Maharaj. Prabhupada gave 83 lectures.
Thank you so much.